is up, internet? I'm that dude Swainzilla, aka old guy with too much time on his hands, coming at you from the man cave, and this is What the Fuck is Wrong with You People?
Say what?
Look, I'm a good person. I'm a very happy-go-lucky guy. It takes a lot to upset me. I'm very considerate. I don't lie, cheat, or steal anymore. I'm very respectful-ish. But unfortunately, we have to share society with a bunch of people who are not as good as we are. And I just want to take a minute on here to talk some shit on those assholes. In this episode, I'm going to cuss people out who don't use their fucking turn signal. Like, why? What is going on? Who are you showing off for? I just don't understand why it's not like just a natural part of turning somewhere is that you just turn on your turn signal. It just feels like just a natural thing. It takes no effort. The fact that people don't use their turn signal, it feels like people are just being purposefully inconsiderate. I mean, we're out here driving 60 miles an hour in steel fucking boxes that weigh a ton, just risking our lives, hoping that we get home to our families at night, and some of you are just not compelled to let the rest of us know what decisions you're making in these severely fucking dangerous interactions. I just don't understand who you're doing this for. Like, there's no chance that somebody's gonna see you doing this and they're going to, like, be excited to have sex with you. Or, there's no, like, oh shit, that guy's a badass because he didn't use his turn signal. Like, I don't understand what this performance is for, because it just seems so unnecessary. Now, there are levels to people who don't use their turn signals. Like me, I'm an extreme person. I use my turn signal in the fucking parking lot. I just feel like when you're driving around the parking lot in this country, you're going to see a whole lot of cars with banged up bumpers and fucking fenders. And the reason why is because they were driving around parking lots and somebody didn't turn on their turn signal to let them know where they were going. Or they were the fucking assholes themselves who didn't use their turn signals. Like, it just seems so easily to avoid such chaos if you just use your fucking turn signal. It boggles my mind. And then there are people who just don't use their turn signal when they're on the highway and they're changing lanes. That's fine. I mean, as long as there's nobody around, like, if you're driving down the highway and you feel like if I use my turn signal, it's not really helping anybody out. You know what I mean? It's not really elevating people's awareness of what's going on the road now. Then feel free. Merge. You don't have to use your turn signal in those situations. But if there's like a bunch of fucking cars, you're on the highway, and there's fucking 18-wheelers all over the fucking place, and you got people flying by in BMWs, use your fucking turn signal, man. Some people just pull up to an intersection, and if they don't see any traffic anywhere, they just turn. They don't even bother. I feel like it takes more effort to look around to see if anybody's coming than it does to just fucking flick your wrist. Like, the people that don't use your turn signal, I'm always just like, what are they doing with that extra 0.5 fucking seconds out of the day that they're not just doing this? Like, it's literally just this. Like, what the fuck is the holdup? You know, and then there's people that'll pull up in a turning lane. You're at an intersection, and there's a fucking turning lane, or you can go straight. And they don't turn their turn signals on, even though they have full intentions on turning. Like, I'm a pedestrian, right? Like, I walk a lot. And so there's a lot of times I'll walk up on an intersection, And I'll start crossing the street and there'll be oncoming traffic. No turn signals. But then they'll turn. It's just like, look, if you would have gave me a heads up, if I would have seen your turn signal, I wouldn't have attempted to cross the street. But I thought I had time because nobody indicated to me that they had intentions on turning. So I thought I had a free pass. Now, you're holed up. Traffic behind you's holed up. Everybody's held up. All you had to do is use your turn signal. That's it. The worst is when you're like trying to pull out of the bank, like, and you're waiting for a car that you see coming down the street, and you're just waiting for that car to pull out. But like suddenly, either they wait until the last minute to use their turn signal, or they don't use their turn signal at all, and they turn literally a turn before you. Like, why didn't you, dude? I could have gone. Why didn't you tell me I could go? Why did you didn't see me? Like, if you're driving down the street and you have intentions on taking a right, but you don't see the next intersection down when somebody's trying to pull out, you don't feel like it's necessary to indicate that you're turning so that they can get on with their fucking lives? You selfish fucking pricks. Like, what the who raises you people? Here's something. According to a report by the Society of Safety Engineers, drivers neglect to use their turn signal 25% of the time when making turns and 48% of the time when changing lanes. Okay. Does that mean like 100, like there's certain people that never use their turn signals and they're calculated, or there's some people that just fucking like they're on the scale? Like, sometimes you use a turn signal, sometimes they don't. That kind of averages out to 25% of the time. 48% of the time when changing lanes. And then, like I said, you know what I mean? If there's nobody around, fucking change lanes. You can merge, you know what I mean? It's not, I just feel like it's a decision you don't have to make. I feel like you're just making an unnecessary decision. Just just like make it part of the process. As soon as you see your turn coming up, and you start to push down on the brake, flick your turn signal. It's like, it's that simple. Here's something. When calculated, the number of cars on our roads every day, there is a turn signal fail rate for all drivers that adds up to 2 billion times a day. 2 billion times a day. There's only 300 million of us, right? So, 2 billion times a day, people aren't using their turn signal. Like, this seems like it should be a bigger concern to people. I understand, like, seat belts, you know what I mean? You have your arguments or whatever, but this is like other people. Like, if you're not wearing your seat belt and you get in an accident and fucking die, that's on you. But now you're just like casually just being like, yeah, fuck that guy, to like just randos. Like, it's so mind-boggling to me. That's 750 billion times a year. Like, what the fuck, man? Get your shit together. The study estimates that about 1 to 2 million auto accidents could be prevented each year if drivers properly use their turn signals. 1 to 2 million auto accidents a year. Just because motherfuckers are lazy, selfish, showing off. Like, I feel like I just don't understand. If you're somebody who doesn't use your turn signal, what's the hassle, man? Let me know what the hassle is. I need to understand. I'm so fucking blown away by it. This is a staggering number of auto accidents caused by careless drivers who fail to exercise even the most basic of safety practices. The most basic. It's literally, like I said, as soon as your turn's coming up and you start to put on the brake, flick your turn signal. Like, give yourself some room to let the people behind you, the people coming forward, any pedestrians on the sidewalk, sometimes you can't see everything. Like, just do it. Just do it. It's so easy. Here's the thing. So a survey conducted in 2006 by Response Insurance reveals that 57% of drivers surveyed admitted they don't use their turn signals. Here are some reasons given for not using turn signals. 57% of people don't just decide not to do it. I feel like if you're just driving down the street and you have that moment like, nah, I'm not going to use my turn signal here. I feel like that just takes up so much, like it's just so unnecessary. Like what's driving you to decide that you need to make a decision? Just do it. Just do it. Like 42% of drivers surveyed said they don't have enough time. Bro. How the fuck does a turn sneak up on you? Like, what the fuck you got going on in the cockpit of your fucking vehicle where you're like, oh shit, and you just have to turn? What the fuck is going on with you, man? Like, here we go. 23% admit they are just plain lazy. I think you can just add that other 42%. I feel like those motherfuckers are just making some shit up. I don't have time. They're just being lazy, dude. Just be honest. You're being lazy. 17% said they don't use turn signals because when they do, they forget to turn them off. Now, these people do exist. We've all seen them. We're following people down the road with their turn signals on, and it's like miles, and you're just waiting for them to turn, and then finally you're like, oh, they turned the shit off. Like, I get it. But, like, just remember. Like, just remember to turn it off. Like, how unobservant can you be to where you don't realize in your peripheral vision that there's a light blinking? Like, the turn signal light is blinking, right? And sometimes there's even a sound. Like, how oblivious to everything around you can you be to where you don't notice that? Like, again, dude, just drive places. Like, what do you got going on in your car? 12% said they change lanes too frequently to bother. Like, fucking Mario Andretti out there just fucking passing people left and right. Like, that means if you're changing lanes so frequently, then that means you're driving erratically. Like, if you can't take the time to turn your signal on because you're just fucking zipping back and forth, you're just being dangerous, dude. Take it back a notch. Like, chill out. What are you doing? Like, if you're zipping through traffic and you can't afford to take a moment to fucking flick your wrist to let other people know where you're going, then you're just being chaotic for no reason. 8% said that they don't use their turn signal because other people don't. Like, dude, if you're in your car and you're about to turn and you're just like, nah, other people don't use their I just don't understand why you're making it a decision to make. Just make it part of the process. You have to slow down. You have to turn your fucking steering wheel. Just flick the fucking turn signal, man. Like, why are you making all these excuses? Because other people don't? Yeah, other people don't. Why should I? Like, what is going on with these people? 7% said that not signaling adds excitement to driving. Dude, I feel like that's 100% of people, all right? These 7% are the people that are saying what everyone else is saying quietly out loud. That's what drives these people. There's no other explanation. There's no other reason. There's no other reason not to just make fucking using your turn signal part of the process, other than that somehow you're getting some thrill out of either fucking trolling somebody on the road, inconveniencing people, or fucking risking getting into an accident for your own self-deprecating fucking issues. I just feel like, dude, there's plenty of time to fuck with people, right? You want to prank people, you want to fucking inconvenience people at the fucking store. Let's not involve fucking steel boxes that weigh fucking hundreds of thousands of fucking pounds smashing into each other. Like, we can leave that. That's out of bounds, right? We can agree on that. Shouldn't we be able to agree on that? Like, just make using your turn signal part of the process. And then I won't have to fucking make videos fucking cussing you out because you're being a fucking piece of shit. Because that's the only explanation. Either you're just fucking a lazy fucker, you're just oblivious to what the fuck is going around you while you're driving, which is dangerous as fuck, or you're purposely trying to inconvenience people, which is just fucking dickish, man. Like, grow the fuck up. Well, that's all I got for now. Do you know someone who doesn't use their turn signals? Like, forward them this video so I can cuss them out. Like, and if you are somebody who has seen this video because somebody forwarded it to you because you're a piece of shit who doesn't use your turn signal, fucking tell me why in the comments. Like, make sense of it. Defend yourself. I mean, I just feel like it's pointless. It's just such an easy fucking thing to do. And I feel like you're just purposely trying to inconvenience people. If that's not true, fucking tell me about it. Tell me what your fucking reasoning is. I would love to hear it. But that's all I got for now. I'll catch you on the next one. Later.